Welcome back into North Dakota. Today we are cooking with Cashway. Randall, there's a bunch of green stuff in front of us.
Green stuff.
What are we working on today?
So I don't know about you, but I'm a major snacker.
Okay, yeah, same.
Okay, I love crunch. I just love that, right? But a lot of us have made a lot of New Year's resolutions.
That's fair.
And we are looking for some different alternatives. And so we're going to do some kale chips today.
Nice. Snacky, but not to feel bad about it.
Right. I mean, there's some fat yet, but you get all the vitamins and all those good antioxidants that you from kale, and that's a good thing. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of kale. Lacinato, this is a curly kale. So I guess there's a couple of things that I'd like to talk about as far as for this. Lacinato or this larger curly kale is probably the better options for you. I would not use that small, more baby kale because that's really not. It's too small.
Gotcha.
And you're gonna get You're gonna get very small pieces.
Because we're already making this chips. If you get a small kale,
right, it's gonna almost crumble.
Smaller.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I've heard that kale is like. As you can probably guess, don't eat very much kale right now. But I've heard that kale is like just one of the. It is one of it's like spinach, quinoa. I mean, there's these things that are just kind of like super uber nutrient. Yep.
And this is definitely what we call nutrient dense.
Gotcha.
Yes. All right. So just grab a thing here. What we have though is we have a pretty good sized stem in there, and that's not so sexy for what we want to do today. So what we're going to do is just kind of come on the back of it and just kind of peel it back out. Now, there's a point at which you're going to just kind of you're not going to try to get all of it, but these big chunks are definitely want to come out. And this is a triple washed kale that we have here in wholesale. We sell it by the 2.5 pound bag, and you saw it. It was pretty.
That's a massive bag.
Right. So if you don't eat kale, you could at least have a kale pillow,
which is also cool.
The only thing is that it's going to compact over time.
So eventually, you're going to have to get a new kale pillow in a few weeks.
Right.
So.
Now, another thing about kale and spinach, they have a lot of natural salt.
Right.
A lot of natural minerals. So we don't want to be very, very careful about how we season these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
And not enough, just enough to coat. That's all we want to do is just give it a light coating. All right, and then I have some ranch mix.
Oh, okay.
Right, like ranch dressing and dip mix.
Right.
But you could use a Cajun mix. You could do like a truffle salt or some kind of thing like that. You could use different kinds of oils. You could use like a walnut oil or something like that.
Experiment with it.
Yeah. So I mean, these are where you can kind of put your own touches in. If you wanted to use like a little granulated garlic or a little granulated onion, I think that's kind of nice, give you that nice onion garlicky flavor. Right?
Endless possibilities with your kale chips.
So, and then what I like is I like to put my ranch dressing in a shaker like that, because then I can really kind of control how much is going in here, rather than kind of punching it out of the bag.
Now, when you're not on camera, do you usually use the tongs to mix this, or do you tend to go in with the hands?
I will go in with the tools that the higher being giving you.
These right here.
Right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just toss that into our pan.
Okay.
And what we want to make sure of is that we don't overload our pan too much. Now, typically, I'm going to go into a cookie sheet or a sheet tray. So we don't want to overload it. And then I'm going to give it a little bit more business here.
I imagine the seasoning. I imagine it's hard to over-season kale chips.
Well, the thing is that, once you season here, you can always do it again after.
That's fair.
Okay? So, but that's the one thing that we want to be very careful of, is that we don't overcrowd that pan, because the heat really won't be able to get it, and what's going to do is going to probably more or less wilt rather than crisp.
Right. We don't want wilted kale chips.
No. So
chips, I guess,
after the break, we're gonna put this in the oven. And then we're going to come back and it'll be all magically done.
All right, perfect. We love the magic of TV.
I know, it's magic, right?
Well, we'll be right back with some finished kale chips, and we'll finish this recipe off for you. We're cooking with Cashway on North Dakota today.